Rivian just revealed what is, I think, one of the coolest looking electric SUVs that you can buy, the R3X. I absolutely love what Rivian CEO RJ Scaringe said about the car. I mean, the way he described it was perfect. Here's what he said. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Just want to say a big thank you to our Patreon supporters. And you know what? We have now done 5,000 videos since we started the channel, which was only just over, nearly 3 years ago. Hasn't been very long. The Rivian R3X. It's the off-road version of the Rivian R3. Here's what RJ said. Looking at the R3, we wanted to take everything that's embodied and put it into a higher performance package. And this is something we call the R3X. Call it a modern take on the Russian Lada Niva 1600 from the 1980s, or the Volkswagen Golf Country, or possibly a Lancia Delta Integral, or the Crosstrek STI. The concept, of course, Subaru never actually built that car. Doesn't matter what you want to call this thing. It looks oddly, weirdly cool. I don't know. To me, it's sort of like, in some ways, reminiscent of the Tesla Cybertruck. It's weird, and some people hate it, some people love it, but it's kind of weirdly cool, right? Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know. When you first look at it, it looks like it has higher ground clearance. It's got plastic arches. You know, we see that kind of stuff from Toyota. They slap plastic on everything, Subaru as well. But I think in this case, it just looks, to me, just quite purposeful. Clearly those wider arches, those wider guards are just intended to give the car a wider stance. You can see there's got a wider stance, right? It's got those wider tires. Clearly the offset of the wheels has been increased. To me, it looks like an offset of possibly 0 degrees, maybe even plus 10. And I think you're going from a normal car where it might be like minus 15, minus 20. Anyway, no matter what that does, it's going to make the car wider. If you add to that it has a structural battery pack using 4695 cylindrical battery cells, very likely a 1000 volt architecture, 3 motors, right? This thing's going to be like mental off-road. This thing could be absolutely epic off-road. I don't think it's going to be cheap when you consider everything I just mentioned. But here's what RJ said. It will deliver a level of on and off-road performance that will get us all very excited. I honestly think he's telling the truth. Speaking of off-road, you can see it's got off-road tires, and the wheels are not really off-road wheels. They're too big in my opinion. I think they should make those smaller, give you an option of smaller ones. But anyway, the tri-motor setup was confirmed. It'll be insanely powerful for a vehicle this size. Now, this is smaller than a Tesla Model Y. It's like slightly bigger than something like a BYD Atto 3, a bit bigger than a Chevy Bolt EUV, for example. But, you know, it's not a real big car. Now, the other thing is, having that structural battery pack, that should enable this vehicle to have more rigidity. I think that's going to be an advantage. Having the weight just evenly distributed across the entire base of the car should give this vehicle pretty good off-roading ability, I think anyway. Now, apparently it's going to have around about 300 miles of range, but to be honest, this vehicle is probably 2, maybe 3 years away, so who knows. In my opinion, the interior, though, is just as good looking as the outside. I love what Rivian's done with the interior. It looks purposeful. It doesn't look like Rivian's trying too hard. It looks like a really kind of nice place to be. And one of the big features of these Rivian vehicles is you can fold down all the seats completely flat. So you can get a lot of space on the inside if you want to camp or something like that. Now, there's nothing in this smaller off-road segment available. I don't think there's anything even in the internal combustion segment that's comparable to this. But when it comes to EVs, there's just absolutely nothing. It's going to have the market all to itself as long as Rivian can get there. I mean, they're very cash strapped at the moment. They're burning through cash. Will Rivian still be around when this vehicle's meant to come in late 2026 or early 2027? It might not. Hopefully Rivian get there. I mean, hopefully this really becomes a product you can buy, because I think it's going to be huge. Keep in mind as well, Rivian are saying you can order the R2 right now. It's open for orders, right? That's the bigger version of this vehicle. But they're saying they're going to open orders to Europe as well. So this will be a vehicle destined for Europe and North America within, well, a few years. Like I said, as long as Rivian is still around. Thanks for watching.